Tank drought this, support exodus that. Have you considered why out of the 3 roles available, 2 of them get punished and or left behind by the player base the most often, while 1 continually gets migrated to or is claimed to be easier? Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Mimics, your resident strategist main and League of Legends survivor. And survivor and Soraka top main. Let's be real here. I'm here to talk to you about the state of the game and why I think we're experiencing all of this. Before anyone asks, no, I'm not in the top 100 or 500 of any of these characters in Marvel Rivals. And I don't want to be. There isn't enough Lexapro in the fucking world for me to handle that level of stress or anxiety. But I was in the beta for this game last year and have been addicted to it ever since. Jumping right in, who's at fault? I mean, to be real, it's definitely not NetEase. All of the characters, minus Black Widow, sorry, cough, have a fun and unique kit that gives plenty of different options playstyle-wise and teamwork opportunities with different ult combos and team-ups, keeping the game fresh and fun and thriving. People can play some of their favorite characters, pick out cool skins, and explore beautifully designed maps. NetEase has done their job and continues to listen to us, the gamers. So, who is at fault? And what is the problem? You might want to blame the whole player base for people not wanting to play tank, aka Vanguard, or support, aka Strategists. But it's not the player base as a whole. Plenty of people love these characters. I myself have lorded more than a few Strategists at this point and have been having fun with Emma and Thor. It's not those specific roles being worse or harder to play. I mean, in rank, KDA is incentivized more than damage, blocked, and healing, but it's not impossible to get a higher score as any of those roles. It actually falls onto one specific group. Bad DPS. If any of you have not clicked away at this point, let me explain. I'm not saying all DPS suck. I have some really reliable people who play those roles in my squad and in my faction. I'm saying bad DPS specifically, the types that do not peel opponents away from supports, who run away from the group and get themselves killed, giving enemy free ult charge. DPS who get on mic or waste time typing angry messages instead of locking in and examining what they're doing wrong. This is on you. Why is it on them? What are the problems, Mimics? How could one group make people not want to play the other roles? Notice how I mentioned the getting on mic or typing angry messages instead of playing. I feel many people can attest to the fact that when playing this game, it does not matter if your team is winning. It doesn't matter if the enemy is jumping or diving you, or if you're constantly healing. This specific group will get on mic and not just complain. We're all adults here, trying to have fun. We can take complaints. They'll get on mic or in chat and say some bigoted, ableist, misogynistic, racist, homophobic garbage. They'll start with claims against a cloak and dagger, saying they're playing 90% cloak and need to just play dagger. Just heal. Don't use your full kit. What are you doing? Bullshit. Or scream at a mantis for actually using her sleep and then getting a headshot kill. But it will quickly degrade and devolve into misogyny. The role of strategist is somewhat viewed as an inherently feminine role in the game space. I mean, support has always been seen as this, no matter how much it's been combated by many members of these communities. I feel most people at this point know in spaces like these, any femininity is deemed lesser, unskilled, and or a hindrance to the team. But there's no reason for thinking that way. So it's easy to see where the toxic bullshit is being directed at and where it's starting from. It's also clear to see why people don't want to play with those players. Who wants to be logging into a game to be verbally harassed and talked down to when we're just trying to have fun as a land shark? Before I even continue, I need to beat you. The person typing, this person would not have lasted a second or survived COD lobbies. Because you're not going to use proper grammar, why will I? Bitch, I survived League of Legends from like 2014 to modern day. If you think anything about me, I just need you to know, if you want to go back to 2008 and be a whiny, pathetic, red pill virgin incel in those old lobbies, go for it. This is a new game and a new space where we can decide the fucking culture instead of you trying to kill it with your necro-ass having takes and weird nostalgia for lobbies that you need to move on from. This isn't cool, fun, or anything interesting. It's sad, embarrassing, and makes you look weird. I wish it was as simple as one layer of bigotry. But people also resort to racism, throwing out slurs, or go to ableism and try to make it seem like they want to be RFK Jr.'s lapdog, thinking autism is debilitating, and that saying the R slur is going to make them seem edgy, when really it makes them seem brainless and like they have no thoughts for themselves. The homophobia and transphobia is alive and well like it never left 2008. At the end of the day, this sect of players, bad DPS, who have never played this type of game, 66 hero shooters, or League of Legends before, come in and take out their aggression and their failure on healers and then later tanks. Because it can't be the DPS's fault. Which leads to strategists saying, fuck this. Fuck people getting on a platform saying, it's so easy, just point and focus, pocket me, I'll get it done, I'll lock in, I'll commit. But the only thing you really should be committing to is therapy and apologizing to your mother for how sad you're acting. You guys comment about how unkillable supports are. NetEase literally nerfs them for you. Now you want to comment on how your healers suck. Get a fucking grip and grow some goddamn tits. Woman up, bitches. So, that's how the player base is treating the other roles and players. What about gameplay? It's safe to say that strategists are being left for dead and the team is collapsing. So much so that NetEase had to make a statement where they were basically begging for people to learn to peel. If you're not in sight of your healers, if your healers are open to be getting ganked because they are so focused on trying to keep everyone else alive that they can't be aware of their own surroundings, they're gonna die. You're gonna get less healing and you'll lose point or the objective and lose overall. Out of all the roles, healers have received the most nerfs, with Season 1.5 making a lot of their ults harder to get, or they're healing less, maybe even reloads slower. While this is a sweeping statement, it is important to note. NetEase listens to the player base. We know strategists are getting buffs to their damage to combat some of the diving characters now. If we continue down this road, it's safe to say NetEase will try and help where they think they can. I mentioned at the beginning, a role was considered easy. And I'm not trying to knock DPS. I'm really not with anything that I'm saying. But I want to explain that before I move on, what we can do, why DPS is considered easy. DPS is a role dedicated to damaging enemies, peeling and picking them off. They are your constant and burst damage dealers whose only goal is to kill. Mechanically, that's easier to manage than someone who has to have full team awareness, managing a whole new stat of healing and everyone's life bars, while also dealing with everyone jumping into the backline to assassinate them like they're some sort of politician. Tanks also have to be smart enough to make space, hold off enemies, push them back, know what damage to take and when to retreat. All of these roles have jobs, but mechanically, one of them has less to worry about. And that's fine. Just don't take your rage out on other people and do your job. So what can we do? Well, number one, if you don't play Strategists, learn to play them so you know their ranges for their healing, for their abilities, and so you know what they have in their kit. And you can stop being clueless and stop seeing it as invisible labor or how you're still alive. The more roles we learn, the better at the game we become. Number two, if you do play Strategists, shut that shit down. Someone says shit, switch off support. Don't let them talk to you that way. If your friend is being talked down to like that, stand firm with them. No one goes strat except for that bigot. Or everyone leave game and fucking cuck them. We're making a fucking Strategist union at this point, and we're not taking this bullshit anymore. It might seem petty, they might hate it, and it might hurt your rank, but we can't let their fucking bullshit have oxygen anymore. This miserable, red pill, misogyny, racist, homophobic, ableist garbage cannot be what defines a game. There are other ways to express fun and have joy. There's other ways to shit talk than to use things that we all know are wrong. Just because you're edgy doesn't mean you're cool. It just means you need to come up with better material. This would not make it 1 second on a fucking stand-up circuit. Not any good one. So, to everyone who is not a dumbass, squat up. Play with people you like. And stop engaging with bad DPS. The last thing you can do, number 3, I guess, is have fun, mute chat, mute VC. Don't listen to these assholes if it gets to be too much. Some of them just want to rage bait. Love you all. Remember, I'm Mimics. You're the Mayhems. I'll talk with you later. Okay? Peace out.